Timony is here. And he's being... Well, apparently he's decided he's being a good boy. He was being a very naughty boy. Up until literally seconds ago, he was trying very hard to destroy the cardboard box. And then I hit the go button and he was like, actually, I'm gonna try and make mom look like a dang idiot. So he's decided he's gonna be a good boy, at least for the moment. What a good Timony Cricket. Hello. Welcome, Bow and Arrows. Welcome, Leo. Hello, Vibrant Pixel. Hi there. And hello, Indecrypted. Yeah, we get a baby on stream. He's such a good boy. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for stream tonight, and yeah, cats do know when they're being filmed, absolutely. I think that I'm guessing that they're able to actually sense when the camera is active. I know that a lot of like insects and arachnids and whatnot are able to actually tell. They can sense they can see the like autofocus thing because it's a specific wavelength that it's bouncing. Now I don't know if that exists on this camera or if they're like able to hear a little electronic hum or something like that, but they definitely notice cameras for sure. So, damn it, I forgot my water again. I need to stop doing that. At any rate, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I did solicit some suggestions, but then without actually looking at the suggestions, I decided on what I wanted to do. Yes, you cute boy. And what I want to do is traditional style Persian tiles. Yeah, cats, they'll be in the cutest pose and then you take out your camera and they immediately move. It's a thing. The little buggers. I've tried so many times to get photos of him and Cinna snuggled up together, and almost every time one of them gets up and like as soon as I move to get my camera out. Did I see yours? Was it on Instagram? I literally didn't even look, Leo. I literally didn't even look at suggestions. I was like, yeah, I should go look at those. And then I thought of an idea. Let me look at oh, you bastard. Leo's suggestion, because Leo wants to harm me apparently, is another cat to redeem yourself from Tuesday. But I think I redeemed myself on Tuesday by the end. So I could be wrong. However, I did decide on a Persian tile theme for a few different reasons. Hang on, let me get back to stream on my phone here so I can catch up with text, because I can see that some people have said some things. Is my silicone mat from Cracked also high? It is. It was gifted. And I keep meaning to do a video on it, and I keep not getting around to it. But one of these days, I'm going to remember to do that when I have time. It is a good prank. I agree. Vote here. Never mind. It's a dictatorship. You know, I give people the opportunity to provide suggestions, and sometimes I will take those suggestions just, on a different date. It's still valuable having the suggestions, even if I don't do it the day that y'all suggest it. I think the cat turned out okay, all things considered. And I will say, in my defense, I have done much better cats in the past. It just apparently was not a day for me to do cats. Dame, you welcome, and also congratulations on finishing your second day back at work. Good job. Yeah, asking for feedback is sometimes the best way to make a decision. Partly because sometimes it helps you realize that what people have said or suggested is in fact wrong. One of my favorite things, if I'm stuck between like, oh, I don't know if I want to do A, B, or C, I'll ask somebody and then just pay attention to my own instinctive response, because if they say, oh, you should do B, and my brain immediately goes, no, then I know I didn't really want to do B. And I can just rule that one out. Yeah. The cat looked awesome. Shut your fool mouth. Listen, Dame, you missed the critical thing here, which was that Leo's suggestion, because I solicited suggestions for tonight's stream. Leo responded with a suggestion that I do another cat to redeem myself from Tuesday afternoon's stream. So... So really, you should be telling Leo to shut his fool mouth, because rude. I was defending that cat. That cat turned out better than anticipated. But yeah, Leo is wrong. To be fair, Leo did follow it up with, I liked the cat, all things considered, here in chat. So, but yeah, Leo is wrong. And Leo is allowed to be wrong. Leo is right to be wrong. I support Leo's rights and Leo's wrongs. Poor Leo's gotta defend himself here. Okay. Enough about the cat, though. We're doing Persian tiles, okay? We're doing Persian tiles. First, Dark and Stormy would like to inform the group that her senior kitty, who's usually uninterested in playing, is playing with a laser pointer a bit. I love that. Jammy and Budgie are often not that interested in playing either, and every once in a while I can get one of them to play, but it's never for very long. It's always like, Budgie will come over and she'll be like, you have to play with me immediately. I'm desperate. I need playtime. And then I will pick up one of her favorite toys and, dangle it in the precise way that she enjoys the most. And she'll get really excited. And 30 seconds later, she'll walk away. She just wanted that 30 seconds of play. She's finished now. That's it. And you know what? She's 16 years old. I think it's valid. I think it's fine. She's allowed. Okay, Persian tile. Persian tile and the reason why. So there's a couple of reasons for this. The obvious one is the horrors. I am obviously not Iranian. I'm not Persian. I have no familial ties directly in the region. But it's something that it's a culture that I grew up with at a slight remove because of my father. And my father, also not Persian, he's an extremely white Scottish man. He converted to a religion called Baha'i many years ago. I think he was around 20 when he converted. And because he was Baha'i, I was raised with that faith, and also because Baha'i originated in Iran, and the vast majority of Baha'is are Iranian. I also, spent a lot of time within that culture during the years that I lived with my dad and when I visited him and whatnot. And I had Iranian friends, many of them, most of our family friends were Iranian at that time. And the food, obviously I grew up with the food, and being a very picky, texture averse person, I struggled with some of it, but a lot of it sort of became foundational to my sort of entire favorite flavor profiling and types of food. So yeah, I have always kind of felt a little bit of a connection to Iran, the culture, the food, the people, as a result of this. And so current events, obviously, I'm finding pretty upsetting, and I'm thinking a lot about family of dear friends who I have in my life, and their families are in a dangerous position right now. Yeah, yay, Team Arfids for sure. Hi, Spooky Mouse. Welcome. We're having just a serious moment. I apologize, but yeah. So I have felt a connection to the Iranian culture and people for a good deal of my life. And which is not to say that I'm like an expert by any means. I don't speak Farsi. I only know how to cook a couple of things and whatnot. But it's a culture that is a little more important to me than might otherwise be expected. And so I decided that I wanted to pay tribute in some small way by interpreting some traditional Iranian or Persian aesthetics. So obviously a lot of these aesthetics predate Iran, but not the culture. And I just sort of pulled a few sort of representative samples of traditional Persian tile work. Which, there's a lot of similarity to other types of tiling in the region, because, of course, there's tons of cultural exchange. And so, you'll find that when you're looking at Iranian artwork, you'll often see shades of sort of Islamic themes and Turkish and Mediterranean, and there's a ton of overlap whenever you're sort of looking at art from like generally Western Europe and North Africa, and so. We're not necessarily gonna exactly replicate. I think we'll draw from and possibly slightly simplify some of these. Maybe just pick I don't know if I want to pick a different one for each nail, or if I want to kind of, do something that's a pattern across all of them. I feel like maybe picking out bits from different ones for each nail might be a fun thing to do, because that's also going to be a little easier than trying to perfectly do a whole, although it could be fun. What do you think? So let's pull this. Hey, Sonia, welcome. Let's pull this. Should I do one pattern across all, or All different. I'm gonna pull this. And I did pull some cremes. I am realizing I didn't pull any like proper browns or orangey rusty tones. So I'm gonna need to do that probably depending on which ones we end up going with. I pulled a bunch of like teal and blue and some yellow. While y'all are answering the poll, I will grab a couple of, maybe something bricky would be good. I could mix from there. Yeah, I'm thinking brick wall might be a good choice, because that would work for, you know, if we wanted to use this like this kind of color, and I can also mix with it. Yeah, this is going to be a creme day. And I'm going to turn off my sound for a second so I can blow my nose. I just feel like you don't really need to listen to me blow my nose. All right. Looks like we've got some people that have not voted, but the all different option has a pretty strong lead. I'm not sure that there's enough people to overwhelm that lead. Well, I guess there could be. I don't know, if you're lurking and you want to vote on whether I should do each nail a different design or all one pattern distributed across all of them, then you know, now's your chance, now's your opportunity. I feel like if I was gonna do one pattern across all, it would probably be something like this, because I feel like that could be really cool to do. But I don't know. You know, any of them could be cool. They're really beautiful, fascinating designs, I think. And I'll show you the colors that I pulled. So I pulled, oh, you can't see those. I pulled 3 different blues. And obviously black and white, because you got to have black and white. And 1 green, because some of the ones that I pulled have a little bit of green in them. A couple of yellows, and then brick and chai. The chai is mostly for mixing, but it'll be useful for a little bit of other stuff too. You're sleepy, Sonyo? Did you have a long day? Okay, I'm gonna end this poll. And we definitely have a strong lead for all different. You think I need something that leans a little more turquoise as well? I mean, this is pretty turquoise. I don't think I have anything that's quite exactly the right shade. I would need to mix. Oh, uh-oh. What's going on? I think Dad made a noise downstairs. Timony had to go find out what it was. I mean, I do have these two. The fill lines are so satisfying. It looks really bright blue for you on camera. It's definitely like it's very bright, but it's maybe more of a cyan. This is more like Tiffany-ish. And this is Holotaco Cyantific, which was never cyan, but I think has maybe even gotten slightly less greenish over time. Cracked looks more like what you were thinking. Yeah. Yeah, it's more of a Tiffany kind of color. Not quite. It's a bit leans slightly seafoamy. What you doing, little man? Causing problems? What a good boy. Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe I should fill you with pride and sadness. Listen, it's just polish. It's just polish. It's fine. If I run out of any of them and it's no longer available, I'll just find something that's close enough. You just bought Scientific before it got retired. You think yours is you think mine is faded? I would not be surprised at all. I actually have an unopened Scientific as well, which makes me curious. Because way back when Holotaco was shiny and new, and I was new to nail polish in general, and I really didn't have a collection outside of Holotaco, I actually bought two dupes. One of them was Scientific, oh my, which is really settled. But let's shake it up. Oh yeah, oh boy. Look at that. That's the one I've been using. That's previously unopened. That's an amazing difference. It is definitely much less green than it used to be. And a little bit paler, but mostly less green. You can see, though, that the cracked is even greener. Interesting, interesting. Anyway, we'll put that back away again. Yeah, the other one that I bought a dupe of, or like a backup of, was Linear Holotaco. And joke's on me, I never use it because I find it too cloudy. Hello, Robo Ducky. It would make a beautiful gradient with the cracked, I agree. Although the cracked is a little more crully rather than strictly creme. Okay, so we're gonna do a different one on each hand, or on each nail rather. So let's start on the thumb with this guy. And I think what I want to do for this is start with not covering the entire screen. That's what I want to start with. I want to start with not covering the entire area that you can see. Oh boy. Let's try and be more reasonable with this. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I don't have that problem with Krem's bow and arrows. For me, it's Krem's are so utilitarian. I don't get attached to them. I just want to have a color that works that I can mix. I am going to do a little bit of an adjustment here because the child moved. So I'm just gonna put this over there so that we can see him. I need to use tape over here to keep this on top of the... I've basically just got it like on top of my air filter is the word. I have it on top of my air filter and it's kind of just clinging there. So it needs the tape to help stabilize it. Ah. Oh my God. I got the tape wrapped around my finger in such a way that I can't help. Oh, it's a good start. It's a good solid start to stream is what it is. Okay. We're going to try that again. All right. Hopefully that will kind of hold it up a little bit. You use linear hollow taco most of all your toppers. Okay, so here's the thing. I basically never use a polish with a topper as my mani. For me, toppers are basically always something that I incorporate into nail art. And linear hollow taco is too dense to use in that way, except as a base or like little tiny bits. Whereas, yeah, tape ASMR. Whereas, like scattered hollow taco, which I use a ton of, is you can sort of put it over a detailed nail art and not completely obscure it. So I use that way more. Okay, so we're going to use this as our base. I'm going to start with the thumb and do this design on it. And I think, because it's probably going to take a couple of coats, we'll use 2 coats for the base. So while the first coat is drying, which has a hair in it, so that's perfect. While the first coat is drying, I think we're going to use this for the second, but I think I want to use like, do I want to use like one of these areas? I think I want to use one of these areas, which I think might mean I actually want to bring me the teal, which I didn't pull. You mostly use your toppers on your petties. I can see that. I can't be arsed to do more than 1 coat on the very rare occasion that I do a petty. So it's got to be something that is a 1-coater that is going to give me intense color payoff and that is going to stay for several months. So it's a very short list of candidates for petties for me, which means I often end up going with something like Full Charge from Hollow Taco, or the the other two bright colors from that collection that I can't remember the name of now. There's the green, the blue, and the pink. And I can get away with any of them in one coat on my toes. I mean, I would probably do 2 coats if I was doing it on my fingernails, just to make sure that I don't have any, patchiness at all. But nobody's looking at my toes that closely. And my toenail polish is simply growing out. I'm not, under no circumstances am I going to be redoing them on a regular basis. It's like a twice a year thing at most. Hello, welcome. That teal is pretty. Why am I such a hoe for teals? Same reason I am, Linry. You painted your toes the other day and then you remembered why you usually don't. Yeah, valid. Okay. This one, let's go back to using this as the base. Although this has a lot of yellow in it, so maybe I should use a white base for this. So that the yellow will pop against it nicely. That might be smarter. Begging Hollow Taco to bring full charge back. Yeah. I think that would be good. It is one of those ones that they've never really made a good like replacement for it. So I do not do toe anything content ever anywhere, and if that's what you're looking for, you can leave. That is not this kind of stream. You won't find anything like that here. Next is this one, and I think for this one we will do the... I feel like maybe the dum is better for this one to make it a little bit different. I can do this one up. I'm not going to need a second coat of that for sure. At least not for the base. Beans do not require nail polish. All right. This was Dom Nail Polish's very first ever creme. And truly, as far as I can tell, the only creme, because she did some Crellies after this. But yeah, this was like a Facebook custom polish that she did, and it is such a banger. I love it. All right, for this one, there were a few on this page. I really liked this. And I think for this, we want a white background. So I'm going to choose some section of this to do. But I don't know which. You're about to block Essie? You know, I would not blame you one bit. I don't think I'm following Essie, actually. Not a teal person, but feeling this Skittle. It's because you're secretly a teal person deep down inside. You just don't know it yet. Or not. I don't know. Listen, man. I'm just trying to convert everyone. Trying to convert everyone to teal. Speaking of teal, some very good teals coming out from BCB next month. They are not in my hands yet, but I have seen some photos, and they're good. They're very, very good. Okay, so that one needed 2 coats, so that's going to be a little while before we'll be able to do anything with it. I think the others we can get away with just 1 coat, even though the white is a little on the patchy side. I I feel like because we're going to be doing patterns over it, you know, it's not going to be an issue. She posted spoilers of them? I don't think so. Did she? She certainly hasn't posted spoilers of one of them. I can guarantee you that, because one of them is nobody's allowed to post spoilers of that until I post my spoilers of it. You're a blue person, it's halfway there. Yeah, that's fair. Blue is also very good. I will allow blue. Okay. So we're going to skip this one for the moment because that needs to dry a bit more. We'll move on to this one. So this we're going to be using some white, some yellow, yeah, I think we'll just pick an area and kind of start working on it. And I don't know if I really want to do fully centered. Maybe. We are going to need to thin this, though. Yeah, and decrypted. Not my kind of thing. Hey, Belly. Welcome. All right, so I think I'm going to do... Let's see. This... I'll go like that and that. And because these are all like hand painted tiles, I'm okay with not being like radically precise with them. I feel like it's fine to just let some of that handmadeness come through. So they can be a little uneven, and that's just fine. We're not going for super high precision here. Okay. Get our little base shapes in here. I'm doing white first, and then I'm going to lay the yellow over top. Mostly because the yellow itself is not going to show up super well on the dark teal, but also because I can see white peeking out behind the yellow areas on this. So I'm gonna apply the yellow a little bit unevenly, a little bit blobby. And I'm going to slightly alter the original pattern by changing the context of it and just repeating this block rather than having it be just a line. Because, like I said, we're taking inspiration from this style. We're not attempting to make a perfect recreation. It's more of an homage than a recreation. You put on Cirque Dakota and it's giving mannequin hands? Yikes. Anime skin, huh? You can't stop staring at the tiles. You have to force yourself to look at my hand. Listen, you can just look at the tiles if you want. That's fine with me. You're allowed. Gonna put a little bit on this side so that you can sort of imagine that the pattern continues off to the sides there. And what did I do what did I fail to do that I always want to do before starting my actual nail art? I forgot to top coat. Which means this little boo-boo over here is going to cause me problems. I'm going to have to just actually add more of bring me the teal on top. You thought the meds were working, but you're pretty sure you're still dripping balls from the fever. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Belly. That sounds really unpleasant. I mean, I'm glad that they gave you good drugs for the fever, but also it's not fun to feel that way, I think. I mean, I know some people do find it fun and seek out that feeling, but for me, it's not pleasant, especially if it's because you're sick. Okay. All right, I think this one, we're going to be through this one pretty quickly. Now there is some stuff happening in between the tiles here. Looks like a little... We need more thinner here. A little diamond shape and some little like sort of florals. You took the drugs and the drugs are working. Yep. All right. And then some little... I'm just gonna sort of gesture in some little flower blobbies here. Okay. You blame Linnery for that song playing in your head now? Yeah. Hey, May, welcome. Your husband has gone to bed and you're off your face. Oh, no. Oh, no. That sucks, Belly. I'm so sorry. What an unpleasant situation to be in. Hopefully you can at least fall asleep soon. But, yeah, I understand. That's really difficult when you're... when the meds that are supposed to help you get better actually just end up making you feel horrible. Thank you, Indecrypted. Hopefully, I won't fuck it up. There's always that possibility. It's been known to happen. I don't usually fuck it up too badly, but there was that cat last week. Although not last week, earlier this week. That started out looking pretty terrible and got better though, so. I feel like that's more typical than starting out looking okay and then getting bad. So for this, I am blobbing a little bit and letting some of the white show through. I am probably going to end up doing a little bit of cleanup with Bring Me the Teal in a few spots. I'm not super concerned about covering up all the white because, as I said, in the original, there is white showing. Again, because they're, handmade tiles that we're representing, it's okay for it to be a little bit sort of loose looking. But I do want to make sure that it's still a recognizable pattern. Don't want to go totally off script with it, You're home and you are hungry. Better get something to eat, May May. Long day at work, huh? Yeah, antibiotics often make people feel a little wonky, which is funny because they, in theory, on their own, shouldn't. But I think some people are just a lot more sensitive to them than others. Okay. All right, let's tidy up a little bit with some Bring Me the Teal in a few spots, especially that first one that I added yellow to. I'm seeing I was a little messier with it, so I want to tidy that up a bit. Oh no, the new glasses thing. I always spend a little while feeling very out of sorts after new glasses. They're like, often I will feel slightly sick. And so I have to like wear them for very short periods of time. Mostly outdoors until my brain adjusts a little bit. It's always a thing that I have to adjust to. Especially now that I wear bifocals, I find it's significantly worse than it used to be when I was just getting glasses for distance wear. Okay, that's our first nail finished already. That didn't take long at all. I mean, obviously I simplified it, but that was the plan all along. So let's move on to the next nail. Yeah, the absorption difference. I'm sure they have to like adjust the prescription strength and stuff to account for that, but it's probably still challenging because you need, especially with things like antibiotics, you need to have a minimum threshold in your system. But because of the way they're being absorbed, it's going to hit differently. Yeah, new glasses plus antibiotics, brutal, brutal, brutal. All right, next is this nail, which I was going to do on the middle. This one's going to be much more complicated. I'm going to need some thoughts and prayers on this one, kids. This one's going to be brutal. All right, I think we're going to be using some royalty blue here. And I'm going to start Actually, do I want to start with the... Let's start from the center. Let's take a center out approach here. We'll do it that way. So we'll start with the brick. I'm just going to need 1 dot of brick to start us out. A small one, please and thank you. Let's start right in the center. Ta-da! All right, we did it. We've started. Incredible. That does seem like it might have been a bit too small. What do we think? Maybe a little bigger? Let's do a little bigger. There. That's better. You believe in me? Thank you. I appreciate your faith. Okay. We are going to have to go with the smaller brush, though, for sure. And for this, we are going to... Do I want to use this one? Yeah. Yeah. Let's use this mixed with some Bring Me the Teal. So I feel like I want it to be just a hair darker than that. It's definitely not moving. I mean, it is moving, but it's not moving in any kind of reasonable way that one might expect it to be moving. Yeah, gastroparesis buddies in the chat. All right. There we go. That looks like a better color for what we want to do here. Okay. Of course, now I have to clean this because that's way too much polish to have on this tiny, tiny brush. All right. So we'll just put a little area around it of this color. I could do this after adding the blue, but like the royalty blue section, but I figure I might as well just do it now. And I'm just going to do it as a circle, because that's going to be good enough. The shapes will kind of correct themselves to some extent once I start adding the royalty blue. At least that's my opinion. You're working on your mosaic crochet blanket while I paint mosaic tiles. That does sound like fun. Okay. So, get this royalty blue in here. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, I'm going to go... Hello? Hello. I don't suppose I could prevail upon you to bring me my water bottle that I foolishly forgot? Thank you. It should have water in it, I think. Unless I drank it all, which I do. Oh, I'm doing a bad job already, but that's okay. It's fine. It doesn't need to be perfect. You could just do less, and that would be okay. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. We're trying. We're trying, and it's okay if it's not perfect. I always have to remind myself of that, because otherwise I will get in my own head a little bit sometimes. I probably could have done these a little bigger, but you know, I didn't. And that's okay. I could probably make them a little bit bigger as I go here. Thank you so much, my love. Get you a Brian, but not my Brian. All right. Yeah, I definitely needed to make some of these a little bigger than I did. But I think we can do a wee bit of correction on them and have it work out okay. So I'm going to make this one a little bigger. And I'm going to make this one a little bigger. And I'm going to make this one a little bigger. There we go. All right. Trust the process. Trust the process. It's going to be just fine. It's going to be just fine. Where'd my white go? Leo says hi. Brian. Says hi? Yeah, Leo says hi. Hello, Leo. Brian says hello, Leo. All right. I don't really need to add white in here for this part probably, but I do want the yellow to pop reasonably well, so I'm going to add just a bit. Okay. It really, if it's a good one, if you've got a good one, it does make life easier. If you've got a shit one, it does not make life easier. I cannot recommend highly enough having a good one, or none at all. If you can't have a good one, just go without. It's better. Trust me. Little life advice from your elders. All right. Get our white in here. I mean, this is yellow. I know what colors are. Don't come at me. Oh my god, Peggy's so dumb. She didn't even know what colors are. How could she call herself an artist? Yeah. I know you were all thinking that and probably saying it out loud exactly like that because that's how you all sound. You all sound so silly right now. You're so foolish. Every last one of you. All right, next. Next is white. And look at this. I've got like this big flake of yuck on here. How did that even get there? I don't want that on there. Make that go away. Why am I getting white out? I don't need white out. I need fucking blue out. God, I'm an idiot. You got a good one after a few terrible ones. See, there you go. Oh, he was your best friend and supported you through the terrible ones. Man, you know, usually it's not the case that the person that's your bestie over the long term ends up being the right person, but it does occasionally happen. Does occasionally happen. And I'm glad that you figured it out. I bet your partner is also glad that you figured it out. Uh-oh, I got a little stringy bit. I hope they weren't pining after you the whole time. I would feel bad for them about that if that was happening. All right. We got this. Oh my goodness, what a mess I'm making. I swear. If any Iranian ceramic artisans are watching this, I just want to apologize. I promise I respect your art. I'm trying my best. It's just a really small medium. But the fanfic potential? Yeah, I don't think you should be making fanfic out of real life. I could be wrong. I feel like that seems wrong to me. Ah. Oh, I really screwed that one up. Okay. Next section is going to be yellow and blue, or turquoise rather. All right. You're doing great, sweetie. Thanks. Thanks, Lori. I really appreciate it. Bari kebab. Ooh. Kebab is always good. I don't think I've ever met a kebab I didn't like. Najwa, hello, welcome. Yes, I'm doing a little tile thing. I'm doing, specifically, I'm doing traditional Persian tile styles. On a different, they voted to torture me by making me do a different kind on each nail. Because chat loves to make my life difficult. But also fun. So, you know, there's that. Okay. So the next little bit is going to be... Oh, this is where it gets complicated, y'all. It gets complicated here. So we're going to do... like this... needs to be a bit more than that, doesn't it? It needs to be like here and here, but not meeting. And then here and here. And here and here. Oh boy. You know, sometimes I think to myself, why did I think that I was going to be able to do this well? What made me decide to do this bullshit when I could have chosen anything? And then I remember it's because I'm a dang idiot. And I enjoy tormenting myself. And I think that's beautiful. Okay. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're doing it. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. This thing where I'm doing like the white, I have to like subtract the white out from the design because the white is the background. This is going to mess with my brain a lot. Najwa, you're still working? Well, enjoy your lurk. And enjoy your work. You voted for that because I was more excited about it. Love made me do it. It's true. It's true. Y'all know me. I do enjoy this very specific kind of pain. I'm very, very into. All right. So this is going to be like this. And we're probably going to have to come back and do some painting over for parts of this to like make it make sense. In fact, it would probably be a lot easier if I just did it as a... Hang on. That part's not going to be... That part's going to be yellow. Oh my god. Okay. Hang on. I confused myself already. It's okay. We're going to backtrack it. I know at least one of you was typing that I was putting it in the wrong spot. And you're going to be too late by the time the stream delay catches up. It's going to be too late. And I'll already have been correcting it. But that's okay. I also really messed that up. Just click. Oh my god. You know, why am I like this? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You arrived to the pain, yes. You think your brain will prefer it if you can't see this? That is so valid. I'm going to try really hard not to take that as a personal statement, though, Belly. All right, you know what? Don't try and do this out of order. Just keep going. Just keep going. We'll fix it as we go along. Let's keep it simple. Keep it simple. It's going to be fine. Okay. Now, this part up here is going to be turquoise. See, that's the part I was supposed to be painting. This part down here is turquoise. And then this part up here is turquoise. See, we just got to alternate. We got to just not be stupid. We have to look at what the pattern is doing and do that instead of just make up what we think the pattern should be doing. It's almost like if you look at what's there, you'll be able to replicate it better. Crazy idea, I know. A truly wild notion. And it turns out that knowing what you're doing helps you do. I don't know what Brian is doing, but I hear him making annoyed, struggling sounds in the other room in his office, which I assume means that he's doing some sort of brain work. There's a very specific sort of sound that he makes when he's doing brain work and something isn't making sense.
I'm just trying to change the lock screen photo. I went to tap on something and it fucking redrew the display while my finger was moving, so I had something completely.
I see. He's having technology frustration is in fact what's happening, which is kind of the same thing.
It's the abuser interface.
The abuser interface, he says. It is frustrating, but I do have to say that he does make life difficult for himself in some really unique and somewhat entertaining ways. He has that, that thing people do when I'm telling on you, babe. You know that thing people do where like the button won't respond right away. The thing doesn't respond right away. So instead of waiting a second, they start just hitting it really hard and fast. He's that guy. He's that guy just with technology. And it cracks me up because it's not, it's like the opposite of helping. But it's the frustration, it's the technology frustration. I got it. I understand where that that desire comes from. It doesn't do anything except sometimes make you even more annoyed. Okay. They like abuser interface, babe.
Ah, thanks. The portmanteau du jour.
The portmanteau du jour. He is very good at those. Brian's brain works in truly mysterious ways, and he's so quick. He's so quick with language weirdness, whether it's puns or portmanteaus or whatever. It's just extremely fast with language, which is extremely unfair, I think, because he's also very fast with numbers. And I don't think it's right for you to be good at both of those things. Like, I think you should be forced to pick one, Like, save some for the rest of us. Otherwise, it's just rude. I used to work with in real life buttons, but obviously doesn't work with digital screen buttons. Yeah. It's also way more satisfying to do on a physical button, though, right? Like, if you have a physical button, like for an elevator or something, A, punching it harder and repeatedly might actually do something, but B, you get that tactile feedback of having done something, which is much more satisfying. Dame, I'm bad at both, so it makes sense that someone else would have both. Yeah, I mean, it's fair. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, what is the next section for this? The next section is going to be yellow. Correct? Yes. What's up? That is a beautiful lock screen. Hang on. Will it show? It won't. It's not. It's not. No, it's not. It's just not. It's not showing there properly. What if I? There we go. There we go. Hang on. Oh, there we go. He made this his lock screen. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I like pictures of my moon.
He likes pictures of his moon. Um, yeah, he always has good space stuff on his phone. I usually have cats or bugs or him. But he likes space stuff. Is that the pic Linry used earlier? Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah, I used an older version for mine, but that is one of the. Actually, wait, I think the pic that. Well, no, that is the one. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. It's the crescent Earth. All right. So this bit is going to be a yellow section here, and it's going to be small. There's going to be an itty bitty yellow section, and I am absolutely going to have to fix that white section in there. But that's okay. We knew that was likely going to be the case. Like, there's no way for me to just do this correctly the first time. Without needing to do any kind of revisions on it, because my brain is just not used to thinking about patterns in this way. So we will be going over sections of this with white, and I think we will probably end up going over some of the other colors as well. But there's that. And then we need, let's see. So then this section is actually going to be yellow here as well. Oh boy. That's going to confuse my brain for sure. All right. That's okay. That's okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. Croissant? What are we talking about croissant for? Oh, because of the Earth, the crescent Earth. Right. We are delicious, probably, statistically. Okay. So we're gonna do this. This. White will come later. We got to get this section first. So that I know where my next yellow section needs to go. Oh, you're already drying out. I needed more. More thinner. You've had the same lock screen and background since 2012? Yeah, I tend to keep for a fair bit of time, but I like to change them once in a while. Not very often, but once in a while. I actually don't. Oh, right now it's I was just gonna say I don't remember what my lock screen is right now, but I do. It's a piece of artwork by an artist that I forget their name or even where I found it. Might have been on Blue Sky, but it's a really lovely piece of art of a sort of I think a femme-ish presenting humanoid creature riding some sort of large bug-like creature on its back, like riding on the bug creature's back, and in sort of adventure-y gear. Okay. You change your phone's theme for holidays and seasons. I don't have that kind of mental energy to do that sort of thing. If I think to do it, then I might, but what's that?
I have 13 screens defined.
Oh my god.
Cats. Christmas.
You just
Moon,
swap.
Aurora.
He just has like a buttload of different.
Halloween. Kate and Emma.
I guess the iPhone lets you have like a bunch of different screens defined.
Yeah, you just long press on it and then pick the one you want to use.
That's too much work. It's very pretty, babe. Was that the most yes dear you've ever heard?
No, you've done better.
Okay. Okay. I think this whole area becomes yellow. And I think I'm actually just going to do all of this yellow because the parts, there's not going to be very much that will cross it. And the stuff that will cross it is going to be stuff that will cover it reasonably well, I think. Yeah, Brian likes to personalize and change all the defaults for everything, which is one of those things that I used to enjoy doing a million years ago, back like when I was, running Windows and used to tune the registry and I would make all, I themed all my own icons and buttons. I had back in Windows 95, I had my start menu all completely replaced. I did all my own artwork for everything. And I used to really enjoy doing that. And then at some point in time, I was just like, this has become too much work, and I don't care anymore. So I just stopped, doing it. And now every once in a while, I'll change my phone background or something. But I think my most of things like my mobile browser or my laptop browser as well, all that kind of thing, it all has built-in ways to personalize it, and I can't bring myself to care. Now I do, when I was working in Terminal a lot, I did have different themes set up for that to help me know sort of which mode I was in and where I was working, so I would have different colors for stuff, but that's a little different. You're boring. Don't change your lock screen or phone themes. Yeah. Your wallpaper is still Valentine's Day, Snoopy, and Woodstock. Your lock screen is a black and white security camera that you took. Your background is black and white rose photo you took. Aw, puppy. Yeah. MySpace backgrounds. I never got into MySpace. I was a little older when MySpace became a thing, and I just didn't have time and whatnot to really spend a lot of time working on that sort of thing. I had a job that I needed to worry about, and I also didn't have. Well, I didn't even have a computer of my own for most of those years, really. There was a long period where I didn't have my own computer. I was just working on a boyfriend's computer or whatever. Your computers are always super color matching. Yours is your wife eating Chinese food, Leo. That's adorable. Okay, Leo wins. That's the cutest. Brian. I don't know if y'all heard that, but a voice in the other room just said, "There's Chinese food eating people's wives? That's terrible." Which you have to try so hard to interpret that sentence that way. Okay, so this part is going to be white here. That is a very unreasonable way to interpret that statement, Brian. I am impressed and also disappointed. All right, this goes down here. And back up here. Yeah, I never bothered with MySpace. I have a DeviantArt that I got way back in the day. I never bothered with Facebook. I mean, it wasn't even, I think, I'm trying to remember when Facebook even became a thing. Because, like, it started out, you had to be at, one of a handful of U.S. Universities to even make an account. And of course I was in Canada, so that was not a thing. And then by the time they made it widely available and I had a computer of my own, I didn't care. I did at some point make a Facebook account. I've made a couple of them over the years. But I've always hated it. It's never been a place that appealed to me. Twitter was the first social media that I actually really got into. I mean, unless you want to count IRC. It's just a little different. I guess technically it's social media-ish. Sort of different, though. It's social media in the same way that Discord is social media. I technically still have the same DeviantArt account that I had way back in the day. I just it's been a long time since I actually posted anything to it. All right. Next thing I want to do is take some of this color and add some. Whoop-a-da. I just heard a big sigh from a sleepy boy. He's so sleepy, y'all. You can't even see him. He's there in the Cat's Up display. He's there. It's just real hard to see that baby boy. He's so sleepy. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I think MSN... I had a Messenger account at some point, but I didn't really use it. I had ICQ, but I didn't really use it. All that stuff, I never really got into it. Partly, I think, because, like, I almost exclusively hung out with people who were significantly older than me for a good chunk of my life. Until at some point there was a weird switch, and then I started hanging out almost exclusively with people that are significantly younger than me. So, yeah, I never really spent a lot of time with people that were my own age, and so I wasn't really subject to those kinds of trends in the same way. Plus, I think part of it is just a function of my age because a lot of that stuff just didn't, and the fact that I was also in Canada as well, a lot of that stuff just wasn't really in the air. It either, didn't exist at all or existed and wasn't, super, super popular. Facebook is the only way you're remotely in contact with people. If I had to rely on Facebook to be in contact with people, I would just stop talking to humans. It's the worst. And I don't want to be, I don't want to be in contact with, my relatives and stuff on Facebook. That's not something I'm interested in. If someone wants to talk to me, they can phone me or email me. That's fine. But I don't want to have to be subject to people's terrible opinions about things. I think there's enough of that. There was also just family drama at one point, and I basically said, nah, you know what? I'm out of here. I am not 39, but thank you. I am 50. What's HHN? I have no idea what HHN is. Yeah, so for a little while I was I made a new Facebook account basically because of because I was on the HOA board, and the primary way that they communicate with the community is through their Facebook page. And so I made a new Facebook account, and God, it was so awful. I immediately hated it so much. And I did join a couple of the Facebook nail groups, the brand pages and stuff. But I don't like Facebook. I don't like the interface. It doesn't work for my brain. The entire way that it functions doesn't work for my brain. And the just too many people are happy to be horrible. And I don't feel like I need them in my life. So, and it's constantly shoving people's terrible opinions in my face. So yeah, I was like, I don't need this in my life. I don't have to go to this. So I retain that account. Every once in a while I'll go to my HOA page if I need to know about something that's happening in the community. But otherwise I just basically forget that Facebook exists. There's all this stuff too. If you're on Instagram, then Facebook really wants you to post to both Facebook and Instagram when you're doing influencer shit. And I'm like, I don't. They're like, oh, you can make more money this way. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not going to make enough money for it to be worth that amount of psychic damage. There's no way. Every once in a while, I'm reminded that I signed up for some stupid influencer program thing on Meta, because they'll send me a check for $1.50 or something for having posted some X number of reels that got however much engagement, and I'm like, you're not worth you're not worth it. You unfriended someone right before stream. They were posting that the Artemis mission was fake. Oh my god, that's hilarious. That is so funny. Yes, Leo, I am technically 12. Well, 12 and a half. 12 and a half. Yeah. I'll be 13 in 2 more years. I'm very excited. I'll be a teenager. Try not to read the comments section anymore. Yeah. Tell them they're fake and then block them. Yeah, the government put a big light bulb in the sky. Sure, why not? All right. I think that is that done? Is that done? Do I need to tidy up some more of the yellow or no? I think it's done. I think it's done. I finished one. Yay. That's 2. We're 2 done. And we're only an hour and a half into stream. Okay, we did that one. This one. Oh my god. Okay, we need to choose a simple section of this to do. Are we gonna? Oh my god. How do I want to do this? Maybe I want to do this section. This section seems like it'll be easier. Let's do this section. I like this section. Yeah, which government? That's the question. Thank you, y'all. I appreciate the compliments. We're going to get through this together. I believe in us. We can do the thing. Okay. We start with a triangle. Oh boy, I did a bad job. That's okay. We can just make the triangle bigger. The nice thing is the bigger the triangle starts out as, the less of the pattern I have to do. Okay. Try and make sure I'm relatively visible on the screen here. Every once in a while I forget about that and I end up drifting off the screen. Ah! And it's bad enough that that I can't really keep my nail at like the optimal angle for y'all, because the optimal angle for you is one that does not really allow me to see my nail well or to paint it well. Okay. And then do, and then do, approximately like that. We'll refine, because that's slightly wonky there. Whoop. That was a bad spot, but that's okay, because we can tidy it up with the other color, and it will be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Probably. The UN. I have done 2 nails. You have done 2 rows. Each row takes about 30 minutes for you. The lizard mole people that live in the tunnels. Yeah, that makes total sense. That actually makes more sense than any of the other governments doing it. And if there's anybody that would know about really big light bulbs that are super powerful, it would be mole people that live in tunnels. Okay. Now, I feel like this is not a super even application here. So I'm going to actually take this larger brush and just do the center area here to try and smooth this out a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. Your algorithm is going to get real weird after these comments. It might. It's the first time you've craved specific food in weeks. You can't really afford it, but you've decided you're going to order pho. Mm-hmm. Good choice. All right. So we need some white for this next section. Do white, and we're going to add a little bit of thinner straight off. Treat faux self. You have Gigi's family from Kiki's delivery service as wallpaper and Bulbasaur snoozing with plants for your lock screen for spring. That sounds cute. I have become obsessed with Mosslax from the Pokopia game, and I'm really I keep sort of losing my mind a little bit every time I see cute Mosslax stuff, and I'm not a person who tends to like purchase sort of popular culture based items. But the Mosslax, I'm seeing Mosslax art that's like really, it's really speaking to me. And it's a problem because I am tempted. I actually saw someone had a really cute Mosslax tattoo flash design. I was like, they're in Seattle. I can't go to Seattle for a tattoo. That's crazy. Maybe someone close to me can do a Mosslax tattoo. But do I really want a Mosslax tattoo? Or do I just want a Mosslax tattoo right now because I'm playing that game and it's adorable and Mosslax is the best? If anybody has no idea what I'm talking about, I'm sorry, get with the times. Hans Moleman was saying Boo Earns. I don't know. I mean, I'm familiar with the Boo Earns episode, but I don't know why that came up just now. Wait a year, and if you still want the tattoo, then get it. Yeah, and I won't probably, but I also feel like my attitude toward tattoos has changed a lot since I started getting tattoos. Like, there was a point where I, was very much like, oh, if I don't want the tattoo, like every day, all day, without wavering for an entire year, then I didn't really want it. And it's a mistake to put it on my body because blah, blah, blah. To just being like, is art, is good, I like, put on. And I think it's correct. I think I have the correct attitude toward it for myself at the moment, but also perhaps an expensive attitude if I were actually to put that into practice. I do think it's quite common too for people to sort of have that trajectory when they start getting tattoos. because you realize that it truly just isn't that big a deal to have tattoos. It doesn't have to be a deep, meaningful thing. It's really fine for it to just be something that you like, that makes you happy. As long as it's not like, I mean, I would never do like a brand logo for somebody else's brand, or a person's face or name, because you never know. But other than that, I feel like anything goes at this point, as long as it makes me happy. It's not that serious. Yeah. Art do cost money. Lot money. I am planning on getting, hopefully I'll be able to get a tattoo at PBE this summer. But the artist that I want to get it from in Chicago has not opened their books yet. And I don't know if they're going to want to do what I want to do, so I don't know. I don't have like a specific design concept. I have like a general idea. I want nail polish maybe spilling onto a beetle or something like that. Something incorporating nail polish and a beetle. It just seems very me. I think that would be fun. But yeah, I need the artists to open their ding dang books. All right. You have a little dish that looks so much like my middle finger. Cool. You should post a photo of it so I can see it somewhere. You must see the Bulbasaur. It is a mossy Snorlax. Yeah. Yeah. It's a Snorlax that falls asleep for so long that it becomes a Mosslax. All right, let me see. Let me see this thing. I need to look. Where is it? It's in nonsense. So cute. Okay, I'm going to show two things. I'm going to show save image. Hang on. I got to save this as one on my desktop, and then save this as two on my desktop, and then we will open them both in here. Desktop. All right. There. This is the piece that Kat is working on at the moment. Crochet. Woo, that got real big. Beautiful work. This is really lovely. And then the second thing is Sleepy Bulbasaur. Look at the baby. So cute. I love this. This is lovely. That's really beautiful artwork. That makes me happy. Okay. Oh, shoot. I think I I think I accidentally, there we go. Yeah, I accidentally opened it over top of the other thing. You gave it to your mother, so it's somewhere in her house. Well, that's not useful, Ray. Why'd you do that? All right, this went a little bit too far into there. That's probably good enough. Good enough. Okay, the next section is going to be the blue again. Probably should have done this one with a white base because we're going to get to blue right at the very end, or to the cyan color right at the very end. All right. This is going to be here. I will have to post the image that is on my phone in the Discord later on, but I cannot do that while I am doing this. I don't know where it is other than my lock screen. I mean, it's somewhere in my photos, presumably. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to be on my lock screen. But I don't know where the hell it is. Okay. Do. Slowly but surely. I'm pretty sure that, like, the thumb is the most complicated, too. I'm gonna have to find ways to simplify these so that I can get these done in something less than a 3-hour stream. Although it might be too late. It might already be a 3-hour stream. No matter what we do at this point. It's going to take you like 400 hours to finish that blanket? Yeah. But it's going to be gorgeous. That's a labor of love, for sure. I've only ever done one full-sized blanket crocheted. And I don't know how many hours it took me. I did not count, but it was a lot. It's a very large blanket. It's a very, very large blanket. I made it for my mom and stepdad. Back when I first learned to crochet, actually. It was the first major project I did after learning to crochet. I did a toque and a scarf, and then I started on the giant blanket. It's like a king-size fucking blanket. It's ridiculous. But it was done all in squares. I found a book that had the pattern that was just like basically make a blanket out of all these different kinds of squares with a different pattern on each square, and then stitch it all together. So it felt very doable because you kind of did it in like bite-sized pieces. Okay. Yeah, I do usually try to choose the biggest nail for the most complicated design. Um, but sometimes I make grievous tactical errors. All right, I'm gonna need a bit of this for the next section. Oh, I am sorry that you're so uncomfortable, Belly. I am glad that you were able to come for a little while, though. It's always nice to see you, and hopefully you're feeling better tomorrow. Okie dokie, this. I'm just gonna sort of try and tidy up some of these edges a little bit. And then the next bit is going to be more of this dark, this royalty blue. This is slightly less opaque than is 100% ideal for going over royalty blue, but that's all right. Not many things can cover royalty blue in one coat. It is a pretty intense color. All right. We're getting there, though. We're getting there. All right. I keep hearing tiny little sounds over from the general vicinity of where Timothy Cricket is, and I don't know what the hell he's doing. I think he's just like occasionally smacking his little kitty lips in his sleep. It sounds real cute, though, I can tell you that much. I need to really loosen this up a lot so I can sort of smooth out this texture here. Trying to apply like a second coat essentially on select areas with a tiny brush can really result in some unpleasant textures and unevenness unless you thin it out a lot and kind of do a wash over it. Dreaming of food? Yeah, he might be. He does. He makes more like mouth sounds than any cat I've ever had in my life. I've never known a cat that spends as much time going like, I'm sorry, this is, if you have misophonia, I apologize, but he does a lot of like, all the time. He'll be drinking water. He'll take like one little lick of actual water where his tongue is in contact with it, and then he'll go. It's the funniest fucking thing. He does it with food. He does it with water. He just, he does it with stuff, random stuff he'll find on the ground. He'll like vacuum up little bits of plant matter and do that with little bits of plant in his mouth. It's so funny. It's because he's actually a dog. Exactly. He's such a dog. I've never had a cat that was this much a dog. Jammy Dodgers was downstairs earlier and he was trying so hard to get her to play with him. And she just was not, she does not want to play. She doesn't want to play with any cat, certainly not with him. He is young and rambunctious, and he keeps trying to bite her butt. It's just like, gives her these little nips. It's the funniest thing. He's so sad about it. He eventually decided that he would just lie down near her since she didn't want to play or snuggle. But he was sad about it. All right. We're getting there on this nail. Almost done. I need more polish. He is a little stinker, but he's a cute little stinker. Lucky for him, Jammy doesn't have any weapons. So all she can do is make angry noises at him. The thing that gets real dangerous is I often worry about it, actually, because the lad will try and play with her and she'll make angry noises at him, and then Cinna will come running because somebody made angry noises at her little brother. And so then she'll like attack Jammy, but Cinna like can attack for real. So it's like becomes a slightly dangerous situation sometimes. I'm like, I think I'm just going to remove Jammy from this situation. Sometimes the best thing to do is just pick Jammy up and take her out of the room. Because Timony just wants to play, but Jammy gets real angry, like actual angry. Because she is, first of all, really not interested in playing, and second of all, in pain all the time. So all right, May May, sleep well. Thanks for coming by. Oh, you people dropping off early on me. How dare. Okay. We did it. It's not bad. It's fine. I've done better, but it's fine. It's kind of uneven, actually. But it's fine. Actually, I'm gonna do I want to do a little touch up? I'm gonna do a little touch up because I'm not entirely happy with parts of it here. I'm just gonna do a little. Oh, I just heard a Cinna. Okay. So she's not in need of rescue. Cinna doesn't meow very often, but when she does, it's usually because she wants in, because she's usually stuck at the gate. Okay. She's in pain because she has arthritis. She's had arthritis since she was just a kitten. It's the breed. Don't ever get a Scottish Fold. They are extremely prone to they're extremely prone to very bad arthritis. I think for this I'm gonna do the like central. I can't zoom in more. I'm gonna do the central, like the star here. This black and white star surrounded by turquoise. That's right in the middle. Because that's what I feel like doing. So there. So this one has 5 points, which is going to make life a lot more challenging for me than the 6-pointed one that was in the other one. But I believe in us. We can do the thing. You know we can. We can absolutely do the thing. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to make that little star in the middle lightly. Bum, 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 bum. We're going to do it real bad. We're going to do a real bad job here. But that's okay. That's why we're doing it fairly lightly. Okay. And we can correct from there. So it's going to be like that. And like that. So my center area, that's still slightly wrong. It needs to be a little bit more this way. All right. My center area is going to be like this. I always struggle with this type of star. I find them really challenging to do. All stars I find really challenging to do, but these ones in particular I find very challenging to do. I need more acetone. Not the starburst. Which starburst? The one at the top? It's too late. I want to do the thing that feels simplest to me at the moment. That's what I want to do. When Didymus, did I say hello or did I think about saying hello and then get distracted and forget to say hello? If I did the latter, hello. And if I did the former, I guess hello twice. You know what I'm going to do, actually? I should do the turquoise first, which I think I'm going to use just the straight up, this one for this. Should do the turquoise first, because then I can just do the white once and not have to do it twice. This is going to be a little bit pointier than that, isn't it? It needs to come out a little further. There we go. Yeah, so this is, the inspo is a bunch of different Persian tile designs. So I basically just went on a number of different websites and found some different Persian tile designs that are all fairly traditional, and riffed off of them. They're not all, I wasn't 100% accurate with my reproduction of all of them. Some of them I riffed more than others, but yeah, the idea was to pay homage to some traditional Persian tile work because I find it quite beautiful. And Lord knows some of it is being destroyed right now, so... So we're just trying to enjoy some of the beauty of it. I was just thinking hello before I said hello. All right, well, hello. Yeah, I don't know why 5-point stars are so much harder than other star shapes. Hey, Sassy. I know you've been here the whole time. And you just now decided to say something. It's been on your bucket list to visit pretty mosques. Yeah. Yeah, I would love to be able to do that, but you know. Oh, to have been an adult with adult money and adult control over myself in the 60s and 50s. There were lots of wonderful places I would have traveled. Your food is almost here. All right, enjoy your food. I expect we'll probably still be going when you're done. You have frogs chirping outside your windows. That sounds lovely. You have spring peepers. They started a little while ago here. This is a couple of weeks ago. Brian and I were out and we heard the spring peepers started. They weren't anywhere near their full chorus power yet, but and I imagine they're pretty quiet the last few days with the cold snap we've had. The last couple of nights it's gone below freezing, and we had to bring some of the plants back inside that we had brought outside. But that's okay. They went back out today. The worst of it should be over now. Yeah, peepers. There's also some weird bird or something going whoop whoop. It could also be a different kind of frog or toad. Don't know whereabouts you are, but there's some real funky sounding critters out there. We have flying squirrels in our area, and they make the craziest sounds. I had no idea what they were for a long time when I first moved here. But I don't even know how to describe the sound that they make. They're really cute, though. At one point, we had a couple that I think were living in the tree. We have a big oak tree right out front of our house. We had a couple that I think might have been living there, or at least spending some time there. You're in lovely St. Louis. They say St. Louis, right? For Missouri. Is it St. Louis or is it St. Louis for Missouri? I never know. Americans like to pronounce things any which way. Smack dab in the middle of the Midwest. Well, I don't know what y'all have there. It's not a region I'm familiar with. There's a lot of the West Coast stuff that is like just not doesn't exist on the East Coast, but there's a lot of crossover in the Midwest. So sometimes there's stuff in the Midwest that's like, I've never seen or heard of this creature. Or I've heard of it, but never seen it or encountered it in real life because it's only on the west side of the country. That doesn't clear anything up, Wendidymus. that could still be pronounced Lewis or Louis. It's not helpful. Too funny. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Sassy. Ruffed grouse makes a weird womp 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 thumping noise. You think they're in that area? There you go, Ray. That's a good way to discriminate between the two pronunciations. Cuz you would never reverse those two. But the French spelling could really be pronounced either way in America. Okay, so you pronounce the S, so you pronounce it Lewis. Hello, Yanelli. Welcome. Oh. All right. It's all good, Wendidymus. We're on the same page now. The best part of this conversation is that I'm going to 100% forget how that city is pronounced next time I see it. There's no way I'm ever going to remember that that one is pronounced that way because there's at least one that is spelt the same way, one American city that is spelt the same way that is pronounced Louis. There's St. Louis and St. Louis. And I'm never going to be able to know which is which. I also cannot with the state names, the state abbreviations. I don't know what most of them are ever. We're gonna have to do some editing here because I'm losing the tips of my little white triangles. Like, is MO Missouri, Montana? I think it's Missouri, but I don't know. Could be Montana. They're the same.
MT is Montana, MO is Missouri, MS is Mississippi.
Brian just told me. But again, I'm going to forget that the next time it comes up. But guaranteed. Yeah, Ray. I'll never understand how MO is Missouri and not Montana. What, like, who decided? It makes you feel better that I also don't know the state abbreviations. You thought you were just stupid. Listen, they're the ones that are stupid. Okay. The abbreviations, they're not consistent. They don't make sense. They're weird. They're weird. And they don't make sense. Some of them make sense, but some of them do not. Like, you would have solved a lot of problems if you just had fewer states and then had less overlap in their starting letters. You know, we don't have this problem in Canada. Just limit yourself to a reasonable number, and then it's much less confusing for everybody. Kansas versus Arkansas, yeah. I moved here in 22, but like in Canada, you definitely are exposed to a lot of American information. So most Canadians will know a fair bit of US geography. Why are you always lectured over stuff you didn't decide? Because if you want to lecture me over stuff Canadians didn't decide, you can do that. I'll take it about as seriously as I take lecturing y'all. Arkansas, yeah. All right. I would also accept Kansas being pronounced Kansas. That would be fine for me. And maybe actually funnier. We can just call it Kansas. Kansas and Arkansas. Honestly, I kind of like it like that. Can we do that? Brian just said from the other room, Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. It does sound really silly. I love it. It makes me very happy. You know what? If you can briefly explain, if there's like a brief explanation for why the state abbreviations are the way that they are, Sassy, I would actually genuinely like to know. Like, I've always assumed that it had something to do with the order in which they joined, and then were like, you know, oh no, we've already taken the second letter, we have to go to the third letter or something like that. But I don't think that actually works out. I don't think that's actually consistent with the way it is. I'm sure the post office did it, but it's alphabetical order. But what do you mean? What do you mean it's alphabetical order? What does that mean? I don't understand. What's alphabetical order? I'm waiting. Hold on, I'm typing. Okay, you type. I'm gonna start on this. Okay. I think for this, I want to not focus on the center part. I think I want to like actually start a little higher up in the design. Like maybe that could be fun. What if we did that? Or like that? Yeah, I kind of like that. So like the round part is starting at the thumb. That seems like fun. You can do the whole Oregon or Oregon or Oregon or Oregon debate for Oregon. You feel like Missouri should have been MS. I like Mississippi better for MS. Oregon like wagon. What do you mean Oregon like wagon? What are you saying?
Michigan is MI.
Michigan. Oh my god.
Is
There's,
MI? Oh, MS.
it just would have solved a lot of problems if they had fewer states and just you're only allowed to have one state with each starting with each letter. There's already a state starting with M. Too fucking bad. You gotta start your state name with the next letter or a different letter. That just would have been so much easier. Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, and Montana. Oh. I see. Okay, so they arranged the states alphabetically and then took the next available letter that hadn't been taken by the state before it for the second letter. I get it. Thank you. So if there was like if we suddenly had
Oh God, Massachusetts! I forgot.
you forgot Massachusetts, yeah.
Yeah, we have MA, MI, MO, MN, MS, MT.
There's a lot of M ones.
Yeah. Most of them come from indigenous tribe names or words.
Yeah. Okay, how am I going to do this? I think I'm going to, rather than introduce a whole other blue, I think I'm going to use this turquoisey color for no, you know what? I'm not. I'm going to go get another blue. I'm not going to be happy if I do it that way. I think this is board meeting. But Hawaii and Alaska get to keep theirs because we basically stole those and they get to keep those names. The fact that there are 4 states that start with MI is too much. Exactly! So if you suddenly had a new state that was called Mr. Mister, like the band, it would be... Well, it would not work this way because everybody's already been established. But if you had one that existed at the same time that all these other ones existed, it would be MT. And then Montana would have to get MA. But yeah, Maine is ME. Because Massachusetts is MA. Yeah. MR. It would have to be MR if it suddenly existed now. But if it had already existed at the beginning, it would have kicked Montana out. So if it existed at the same time that Montana existed, that all this stuff got established, it would have been MT. But if it got added now, it would be MR. I agree. That makes sense. Well, we're learning so much here tonight. Yeah, it makes sense now that I understand why it's like that. But having never learned that as a Canadian, it's a very confusing. Oh yeah, I stole her pickle. Okay, so we're gonna start with this little bloopy bit in the center here. It's like the states that start with new. Wait, what other states are there that start with new? Oh, New Mexico, New York.
Jeez, you know what state I also forgot?
What else did you forget?
Maryland.
You forgot Maryland? I didn't forget Maryland. Maryland is the only state that's licensed to practice medicine.
Yeah, there's because of Hopkins and there's so many doctors.
Texas and Arizona are indigenous languages as well. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of the Canadian place names are also from indigenous names. In fact, Canada itself, the word Canada, is from an indigenous word. All right, do one that way, that way. Try and do 2 out this way. Oh yeah, New Jersey. New Hampshire. I always forget New Hampshire exists. It doesn't seem like a real place. See, y'all just have so many. It seems unnecessary. What's going on over there? The child is moving. Oh, he's got snorfels. Do you have snorfels? Oh, okay. There he goes. I don't know where he's going. Are you leaving the room? Oh my god. He got down and he just like splooted on the rug right behind me. Okay. Now he's on the move again. Could have been solved if you did 3-letter abbreviations. Yeah. Oh yeah, the skelly in the bowl it was supposed to be temporary, but I don't know, something happened. It just hasn't moved. All right, I don't really have quite this brown out, but I think what I'll do is I'll just use some brick and add a dot of black to it, and I think that will both desaturate and darken it enough. You like that the cats get their own skeleton in the bowl? You know, there's enough skeletons to go around in this house. There's 2 tiny ones, the same kind, beside the TV downstairs. They hold up the TV for us, which I think is very friendly of them. And then, of course, there's the big one downstairs as well that lives in the window. That was a little too much black. Yeah, I have 4 total of this size of skeleton. Wah, shit. Okay, well, that was also not what I meant to do. Fuck. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You know, it's all good. Now it's too light again. Yeah, I need to, so I actually have some, little pretend bubbles. They're like little plastic things that look like bubbles. So if you have a pile of them, it kind of looks like bubble bath. And I've been meaning to, set up, like to find some kind of little bathtub shaped thing and set up one of those skeletons with in a bathtub with the bubbles, but I should probably just add the bubbles to that. I feel like that would work just fine. Just gonna get the initial little shape here. And then we'll flesh it out a bit. Okay. So each of these is kind of a little spade shape-ish. Sort of a spade shape. At the top, kind of a leafy. They don't quite touch each other. They come kind of close. Which means this guy needs to come out a little more. There we go. You think the maritime provinces should become one so that they have more economic power? Yeah. I feel like that would help them in many ways, but also I feel like they would not want to do that. We should give Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California back to Mexico. As a Canadian, I feel that that would be very reasonable, but also probably never going to happen. Okay, now we want some shady navy again. And we're going to do a little hoo-ha here. Don't tell me you don't see the hoo-ha. I know you do. Every last one of you sees it. And if you lie to me and tell me you don't, you're really only lying to yourself. Puerto Rico should either be made a state or given their freedom. Yeah. I do think that they also would require some significant financial assistance to recover from what has been done to that state or to that territory. Hawaii can leave if they want to, because why force them? Yeah. Yeah. You won't hear any disagreement from me. I was reared on that variety of science fiction that sort of saw the redundancy of nations, the concept of nations, in favor of a single planetary governing body. And while I do recognize that there are issues with that, and I do think it's somewhat idealistic, I acknowledge my simplistic idealism in wanting this, but I would love a world without borders. where anyone can just live where they want to live. I think that would be really nice. Again, acknowledging that that is a simplistic ideal that may not necessarily work, at least under current systems. Maybe someday our species will emotionally mature enough that such a thing would be feasible. Preach. Yeah. Star Trek too, but I didn't really get into Star Trek until much later. I was never really a TV watcher, so for me it was mostly short fiction. I read a lot of short SF. That was my major obsession. So my stepfather had a fantastic collection of all those, science fiction, astounding, amazing, etc. magazines that, from the 50s and 60s and 70s. They're all just, short science fiction works. So I started reading those. I would have been, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11 when I started reading those. And they really did something to my brain, I'll tell you. Oop, I see a strand of goo. I had a polish string there. Okay. Oop. Okay. Well, it's okay. We're gonna have to have a little loop in the middle of that anyway. So that's gonna have a dark bloop in the middle, and then a dark area around. And then we start to get into the stripy bits that are going to be so much more difficult to deal with. But that's okay. This, I'm going to definitely need a little bit of thinner in there because the layer under it is going to dry it out so much faster. All my cats have abandoned me. What a tragedy. At least we got a cat for a good long time. That was pretty decent. My goodness, it's late. Fully in 3-hour stream territory. Hopefully we won't go over 3. I do need to eat eventually. All right, bloop in the middle, bloop in the middle, bloop in the middle, bloop in the middle. There we go. And then this is going to be this and this, this and this, this and this, and like this. So we will have, I'm going to have to add more of that board meeting in there to fix that, but that's okay. Okay. Your dad had a lot of sci-fi novels, not necessarily good ones, but you were more into fantasy. Have I not had dinner yet? No, I have not had dinner yet. Okay, technically I do live on the East Coast, but I operate in approximately Hawaii time for the most part. Brian and I are not normal. I got up at 1 p.m. today. I usually go to sleep anywhere between 3 and 5 in the morning, East Coast time. So, yeah. Like, I'm not out here doing normal things at normal hours. Dinner time is typically anywhere between 9 and 11 p.m. Sometimes later. Every once in a while, we have one of those nights and I end up not getting dinner ready until after midnight. Yeah, it's like you keep your parents' sleep schedule. I don't normally actually get to sleep as late as I did today. Normally the cats will actually wake me up a little earlier, but sometimes I get lucky and they let me sleep in. Okay. So I'm going to try and sort of tidy this up a little bit and put in my turquoise lines. Oh, sorry, I'm starting to drift here. My apologies. Put in my turquoise lines here and establish where I need those and cover up those little strings that I accidentally managed to get on with the shady navy. Probably looks like I'm not doing anything really on the screen, but I promise I am. And then here. You let your cats free eat, so it's pretty rare for them to actually run out of food. So they have a combination of things going on with their feeding. So for many years, Jammy and Budgie had free fed kibble and scheduled wet food. But Jammy can no longer be trusted with free feeding kibble, so they get kibble with an automatic dispenser several times a day, but they still get their scheduled wet food as well. So what they wake me up for is not kibble; it's for their wet food. Cinna and Timony get free fed kibble still, because they can be trusted to just stop eating when they're not hungry anymore. Shit, I got a stringy again. Don't like the stringies. Jammy at some point in time just decided that what she wanted to do for her main hobby was eat. And and that's not great for her given she has arthritis. So, keeping her weight down helps her pain. Like I've never put her on like a diet per se, but I just make sure she's not able to eat until she vomits, which she will absolutely do these days if there's kibble. Okay. So we are going to, I'm just trying to make sure I know where I'm at with this design right now. Sometimes I gotta take a moment and take stock of what the pattern is doing. Try not to make any more silly mistakes. Okay. So this is actually going to continue up here. And this one is going to continue up here. And this little square area, this squarea, or not, it's not even a square area, it's a triangular area, but who's counting? Y'all know I'm smart. I am so smart. SMRT. I mean SMART. You're usually painting your nails between 12 and 3 a.m.? Yeah. I actually usually paint my nails during the day, weirdly enough. Yeah, I had to start giving them wet food because Jammy Dodgers won't drink water. I mean, she will now. It's funny. Now she will drink water, but for most of her life, she refused every fountain. She refused every water source. I tried so many things, and she was just like, "No, I don't want to drink water. That's not for me. No, thank you." And if you have a cat that doesn't drink water, it's a huge problem. So I basically had to feed them wet food in order to make sure that she wasn't dehydrated all the time. Budgie, on the other hand, has always been obsessed with water, but if I'm feeding one of them wet food, I have to feed both of them wet food. So, yeah. And cats a lot of them don't drink enough water. It's pretty common. So, obviously it depends on your cat, but they are sort of, in the wild, they will get most of their water from their food. And so they don't tend to be as likely to instinctively want to drink a lot of water. And of course, many of them are picky little shits. So yeah, I started feeding them wet food when they were young because of that. And I've just had to keep up with it through their whole lives. And now, of course, Jammy drinks plenty of water. She does a really good job. But she's so used to getting her wet food every day. Yeah, sometimes you get a cat that's just really wants to eat everybody's food. The little piggy cats are a thing. If one is significantly larger in body size, you can do a very cheap and easy version where you just put the food for the smaller cat into an enclosure that the larger cat can't get into, but that only works if the larger cat is the one that's stealing the food. If you have any other sort of situation, then obviously that's not going to work. And if they're too close in size, then that won't work either. But otherwise, yeah, there's those feeders that have the like collar trigger on them, so they'll only open up when the cat with the correct collar is at the door for them. But they take a certain amount of training to teach the cats to use. So they don't work for everybody. It would be real nice if they did. Yeah, kitty kidneys are such a thing. Your cat likes the dog's water better than her own bowl. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's the lack of drinking water, or not having that instinct to drink water so much is a big part of why so many cats end up with kidney disease. So it's not a bad idea to, if you have a cat that doesn't drink enough water, it's not a bad idea to just supplement with either wet food or you can add can actually add water to their kibble, or you can give them a supplementary liquid that is flavored. So whether that's something like churu or something like that, as long as it's designed for cats' digestive systems. Like, you don't want to be giving them the juice from the tuna can that's like salted for human tastes or anything like that. But yeah, there's a lot of ways to get cats to get more liquid into them. You just sometimes have to get creative. Depends on the cat. Jammy and Budgie are extremely picky about the wet food that they have. It took me a long time to find wet food that they would both reliably accept. Yeah, they're a huge pain in the butt, those two. But once I figured out what they like, it's been pretty good, and they've been now on the same brand of food and type of food for a number of years now, but I mix up the flavors that they get because they get bored otherwise. Which, legit, I get it. I think I would get bored too. Ears will get tired of wet food and let it rot. Yeah. Yeah, and like, if all you can get them to do is have some extra liquid on the weekends, that's great. That's fine. Mine do the Waruva BFF, the OMG BFF packets. They don't like pâtés. They freaking hate pâtés. They refuse to eat any kind of pâté. But they like something that is in a gravy. They want it to be chunks in gravy, and it has to be primarily tuna, or they will not accept. It has to be tuna and something. Cinna doesn't seem too excited about that food. She'll have a few licks of it, but she's not like, oh my god, it's so good. But she also, I think, seems to drink enough water that I'm not worried about her. Oh, yeah, the dental water additive, they do not seem to be into, unfortunately. Do I think my cats would like caviar? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, all right. See you, Leo. Say hi to the wife for us. Yeah, I don't know if they would go for anything like that. I've never tried them on anything that fancy. They're so picky that, like, unless it's like, I'll let them try stuff that I'm having if it's something that's not dangerous for cats to eat. But yeah, it's not the sort of thing that I would have in the house generally. So hasn't been an option for them to try. All right, this almost looks like a little tree, kind of a cute little shape. Your cat forces you to not only change flavor but brands for the dry food. So they have been so easy with dry food, I have to say. They've been so easy with dry food. They're like, is it kibble? Good. We like. They went nuts. Every once in a while, I would like run out of their good kibble because I'm pretty picky about what I feed my cats. I would run out of their good kibble and like just for a day until I could get to the proper cat food store. I would sometimes run next door and grab them like a bag of whatever was, like Meow Mix or whatever the convenience store had. Oh my God, every single time they got that stuff, they would go nuts over it. They loved that shit. That's like apparently crack for Jammy and Budgie. They were so into it. But they'll accept basically any kibble. They're just picky about wet food. Because of course they are. You had a cat that ended up with the kitty version of Crohn's, and at the end of her life, she would even eat the mushiest of mush foods. Oh, she would only eat Temptations treats. Aww. Oh yeah, I'm sure some rich people have been feeding their cats caviar. Of course they have. Yeah, when you get to a certain point in a cat's life, it's just like, it's the same thing as with humans, you get to a certain point and like, just fucking let them have whatever they have, whatever you want, it's fine. And like, screw what the doctors say. If you've got, weeks or months to live, regardless, like, just, it's fine. Just eat whatever it's fine. Do whatever the hell you want to do. Smoke a cigar. It's fine. It's not gonna, The idea that you're trying to like, preserve your health for something at that stage is like, come on. Let's be real. I mean, obviously you don't want to start that attitude too early. But I do think it's reasonable to just let an elderly animal of any sort, human or otherwise, just enjoy some unhealthy things. Meow Mix is the Taco Bell of cat food. Yeah, totally. Yeah. You know, my girls have never been super into human food, but there's like specific human foods that they're quite interested in. Jammy Dodgers really likes to have just a little spot of cereal milk, you know? Just like, but she'll have a few licks of it and then she's done, and it's not every day, so it's like, it's fine, whatever. It's not gonna kill her. She's all right. Um, and she likes tapioca pudding of all things. It's just a weird choice. Um, and whiskey. She likes whiskey and she likes coffee. I wish I was joking. Specifically scotch. She likes scotch. Um, and yeah, coffee. She's into coffee. Budgie is basically only into meats. She's into very normal things. She wants like a piece of salmon or a bit of hamburger or whatever. That's her jam. But yeah, Jammy's always been a little bit of a weirdo. Brian's cat, I can't remember, was it Emma or Kate that used to try and steal his like grilled cheese sandwiches and pizza. She was really into specifically um grilled cheese sandwiches and pizza. She really liked them. She'd try and steal them off his plate. I think that was Kate. You've never had Taco Bell? I unfortunately have, and you're not missing anything. It's terrible. I know that some people really love it, but you truly don't need to put yourself through that. It's fine. It's not actually food. Okay. I think I'm done. Am I done? I think I might be done, y'all. I think I'm done. I just need to do top coats now. So, first we need a seal glaze. Yeah, if you like food, then don't bother trying Taco Bell. KD Mac is... KD is not good, but it is, I think, a thing that is not so terrible that you will regret trying it once. But yeah, it's not like I wouldn't choose KD over like actual macaroni and cheese. Non-Canadians in the chat, Kraft dinner is Kraft macaroni and cheese is KD. All right. I see little bits of lint. I will literally never choose Kraft dinner over actual good homemade macaroni and cheese. But I understand why someone might if they're in the right mood. Like every once in a while, I really just want just a boiled hot dog on a shitty white bun with a stripe of yellow mustard on it. It's very rare, but every once in a while, that's really what I want. I want that maybe a Coca-Cola. So, I get it. Oh yeah, if you don't like food, also don't eat Taco Bell. Yeah, I can't. So Dame, because of that exact same thing, I in general can't eat fast food, period. Did I put, I don't think I did. I didn't put seal glaze on this nail, did I? Yeah, fast food in general, I can't eat. There are a handful of exceptions. In a pinch, I can eat a Wendy's burger with just mustard. Similarly, I can eat Whataburger. A burger from Whataburger with just mustard, I can eat that. They're very similar. Wendy's is not as good, but it is edible. But like, I can't. There's nothing at McDonald's for me. There's nothing at Burger King for me. None of those kinds of places. I can't do them. I have somehow I managed to get so much freaking crap. Child, you aren't behind me, right? Okay. I managed to get so much nail polish on the back of my hand here somehow and kind of all over me. I guess I put my hand on the palette at some point. Maybe at multiple points. Mustard burger with onions? No onions. Just mustard. Just mustard. Zero things, just mustard. Patty, bun, mustard. Nothing else. I can't do... Oh, you know what? There is one thing at McDonald's I can eat. It's the hash brown. I can eat the hash brown from McDonald's. Those are fine. A&W... It's been so many years since I've had A&W. I don't know. I couldn't tell you if I can eat that or not at this point. I would be willing to try it, but... What are you doing? Little man? Are you causing problems? Are you going to go back in your box? You're going to come out of your box. Okay. I was offended by those onions. Look, I love onions. But for a hamburger to be safe, there is a very specific formula. There's never been a burger. That's not true. There's rarely been a burger that I could eat with anything other than just mustard. I have had a really good gourmet burger with caramelized onion and brie. Sure. I can do that. But that's not a fast food thing. Fast food is totally different. Can you have a pressy set of my middle nail? I mean, only if you make it yourself. Yeah, I do like how that one came out. That's a lot of fun. I like the whole set together. I'm glad that y'all tortured me by making me do multiple designs. Yeah, it's the texture, totally, Spooky Mouse. I love onion. I even like sometimes the crunchy. I like crunchy onion. I like crunchy onion. I like not crunchy onion. I like onion in all its forms, but it can't always be combined with everything. There's for me, a lot of my texture issues are combinations of textures. And yeah, I struggle. I struggle. Okay. Top coat. And we're definitely doing gloss. Don't worry, Sassy. There's not going to be any matte here because tiles are glossy. Is it because you don't know if the texture is from the topping or the meat? I don't think that much thought goes into it. It's in mouth bad. Don't be in mouth. There's no conscious brain activity around that. There's just if feel bad in mouth, must be out of mouth, possibly violently. Yeah, if I'm eating meat and get an unexpected texture, I cannot keep eating the meat. That is absolutely a thing. But there's the texture combinations thing applies whether it is meat or not meat. Certain combinations of textures I can't do whether they are meat or not. But yeah, that's actually also a factor. Which is part of why I struggle with fast food burgers to begin with, because most of them have really bad texture for me. I really like how these turned out, y'all. I think they're super cute. I like them a lot. I need to take photos. I might have to do a second top coat to like fully sort of smooth everything out a bit more. But I'll wait a couple minutes. I'll do that right before I take photos. Oh my goodness, what a long stream. What a crazy long stream, y'all. Are you stealing old lady kibble? The child is out there in the hallway eating the old lady's kidney kibble. How dare. He gets kitten kibble, he gets adult cat kibble, and he occasionally gets to steal old lady kidney kibble. Rude. Yeah, so next week's streams, I got nothing specific for Tuesday. I think Thursday I have stuff. Thursday might be the Tyler's Trinkets Aculid Nails stream. Let me see. What is the date for that? I'm going to double check with them and make sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because that launches on the 18th. So, yeah. So next Thursday evening's live stream is going to be those two. Or that collection, rather. So it will be a live swatch and review of that collection. But Tuesday, I don't know, some kind of nail art. Let me know what you think I should do. Something that won't take 3 hours, please. Nelly, I'm glad that you made it as well. Dame, you just realized you weren't following me on Insta. Shame on you. Shame. It's fine. Nobody needs to be following me on Instagram if Instagram isn't your thing. But you can. I like it. I also like it if you press the buttons. You know the ones. And the subscribing and the liking. The commenting is good. The telling all your friends, tell the whole bunch, etc. They need to know about the hippopotamus. I don't know. That's it. I guess I'll see you. I'll see you next Tuesday. Okay, bye.